Thanks for tuning in to the Women's Vibrancy Code, a podcast dedicated to helping women move from exhausted to energized, balance their hormones, and feeling turned on by their life, their lover, and themselves. I'm your host, Maraya Brown. I'm a Yale and functional medicine trained women's health expert, midwife, mom, keynote speaker, and self-made entrepreneur. I'm the founder of my signature program, the Women's Vibrancy Code. So sit back, relax, and let's chat about your energy, hormones, libido, and embracing your feminine power. Oh, and you might want to have pen and paper to take some notes on some of these episodes. Hello and welcome back to the Women's Vibrancy Code podcast, wherever you are listening. If you're on YouTube, we can see one another. If you're in most of the podcast platforms, we hear one another. I am so thrilled to share with you this 4-part series called Pause. Pause was a workshop that I put together for women that would like to abolish fine and instead feel absolutely spectacular. What I say is, you're not crazy, the world is. So I'm thrilled to offer this up. The workshop itself did end. If you are listening before September 28th, I'm happy to continue to offer the quite discounted rate. Grab the link in the description, marayabrown.com/trifecta. If you are listening to this after September 28th, I'm still happy to offer a bit of a discount on that offering. Just simply when you're at checkout, enter the coupon code podcast. What will you get out of this amazing workshop? Well, we unpack the 6 main areas that are keeping women in fine. You'll have the esteemed privilege of taking a true self-assessment of where are you and where is your sense of vitality. You'll have a personalized plan and building blocks to really dig deeply into your hormones, your energy, and your libido, specifically your sex hormones, your thyroid, and your adrenals. Not only understanding the symptoms and signs and tests that to ask for, but also some personalized plans and kind of building blocks to move things around. And then also in the midst of pause, we unpack what you consume and detoxify is what you become, so that each and every one of you can abolish that 4-letter word called fine, understand the interconnectedness between energy, hormones, libido, confidence, community, and vision. And for some, you might be feeling sick. For others, you might be feeling fine. Either way, what I want is for you to feel absolutely spectacular. So we will drop all 4 days all at once. Please listen, please respond, please reach out to me. If you're watching on YouTube, comment down below. You're welcome to reach out to the team. Just like I say in the episodes, you're always welcome to text or email as questions pop up. And I'm happy to have you and hopefully have the esteemed privilege of supporting you in the Women's Vibrancy Accelerator Trifecta. So thrilled to be offering this up, and I talk a bit about it in the midst of this workshop. So listen up, ask your questions, and hopefully I'll have the opportunity to see you on the other side with some testing, with some one-on-one time, with some education, and tremendous support. All right, ta-ta for now. Day 2. Pause. Let's go. Today is about abolishing the 6 main areas that keep women in fine, and if addressed, will transform a woman's life to feeling absolutely vibrant. I started to unpack that yesterday, and we introduced the 6 areas. Curious if anybody happens to remember what was one of the areas. I'm going to pull up the chat. There. Oh, thanks, Maria. I appreciate it. Bright. This was a shirt from Vegas. And so funny, I was looking at that picture that was on the countdown. I almost wore those earrings today, but I ended up switching. Tracy's coming in the room. Community, sleep, hormones, energy. Yeah. So we got energy, community, hormones. Sleep was one of the things when we were quantifying vibrancy. Yes. Libido was one. Yes. and vision. Yes, we got all 6. So we'll be digging into that today a little bit more. Hopefully everybody has their workbook. Then tomorrow, getting a bit more into what we consume and detoxify is what we become. And then Saturday, my hope is to make sure that everybody that's on live we can start digging into a more personalized approach, specifically on energy and hormones. And then for those that are active, we will do a bonus Q&A closed door on Sunday for those that say yes, that you would like to attend. I also want to say out loud that so much of this is around self-awareness, right? Understanding how you're showing up and the acknowledgement of where you are, right? We did the vitality assessment yesterday, and it's like, oh gosh, there's some areas where I'm really strong, and ouch, there's some areas that I could definitely work on a bit. And we'll kind of weave through today to really have more clarity and self-awareness around how hormones and energy are playing out in this domino effect and interconnectedness with libido and community and confidence. As a reminder, you have Randy as your concierge support person if you have registered. If you're like, I can't find my workbook, I have this question, this was something that felt unanswered for me, I forgot to bring up the homework at the end of yesterday. So if you are a person that likes to do your homework, please send that in to Randy. It's at the end of each day on the workbook. And then you can always email admin@marayabrown.com, or you can text 541-904-4441. Hopefully everybody's getting the emails now. If not, just make sure you're checking your spam. Once again, it's really potent if your video is on. It just makes for a more potent live experience. For those of you on Facebook, for those of you watching the replay, obviously that's not as relevant to you, but I do encourage you to do your best to really say, this is me dedicating time for me. I'm going to turn off the notifications. I'm going to quiet down the outside noise and allow myself to really be present, because we all know that when we're present and engaged, we're just simply going to get more out of it. And seeing each other's faces is part of what builds community, right? So welcome back. For those of you joining for the first time, or for those who've been with me through this journey, as a reminder, I'm Maraya Brown. I've dedicated my life to helping powerful women like you tap into your full vitality. I'm a board certified nurse practitioner, and my specialty is OBGYN. So I'm called a certified nurse midwife, and I did my training at Yale University. Over the years, I've studied and collaborated with experts around the world on functional medicine, hormonal health, holistic well-being, and I've seen firsthand the transforming power that comes when women stop surviving and really start thriving, okay? And like I said, my expertise doesn't stop at the science. I've lived it too, as a mom and a businesswoman and someone who's been through the highs and lows of health. I understand the relentless pace that we're all moving at. And I know what it's like to feel disconnected at times from our body, from our energy and our passion. I also know what it's like to feel deeply connected to my body and my energy and my passion. And my hope is that for each of you, we can help you really elevate that deep sense of connection to reclaim it, right? You've heard me say I midwife women through chapters of change. So yes, I attended births and supported couples in getting pregnant and having healthy pregnancies and amazing postpartum experience for 17 years. At the same time, I was running the women's health and federally funded clinics and private practices. I also got to head up some fun international health projects in West Africa and Central America and Haiti. And over the decades, I've had the esteemed privilege of supporting thousands of women across multiple continents with my courses, my programs, my podcast, retreats. And so I'm here not just as an expert, but as someone who deeply cares about your journey and my journey. And it isn't just about giving you more information. Okay, I don't think that we, at this point in the world, need more information. Okay, my hope is that this feels like you can take the information and apply it be in self-reflection, and really create hope for true transformation. So today, let's dive in and start. Once again, if you do not have your workbook yet, please put it in the chat and just say workbook. And like I said, some of you are watching the recording, so just reach out. Okay. As a reminder, the recordings will stay up on the website until September 28th. So if anybody wants to rewatch something, you're welcome to go back. Or if you happen to know that you're going to miss one day, no worries. Recordings stay available. And I would like to ask, how many of you want to understand how hormones influence your life? So just put yes in the chat. How hormones influence my life. Yes, I'm seeing yes. Yes, please. I saw yes, please. Thanks, Patricia. That's fun. Hey, Susan. Nice to see you. Yeah, I'm seeing lots of yeses. Okay. And yeah, like let's get in. If you pull out your workbook right away on page 1, let me pull up the visual. Dun, dun, is this one. And I'll do a share screen so that everybody can also see it. This. So page 1, my feeling is like, let's dig right in, right? We want to abolish these 6 main areas that keep women in, find and if addressed will transform a woman's life to feeling absolutely vibrant. Let's start unpacking a bit around how, like what influences our hormones, okay? So specifically, I want to talk about hormones like estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone because they play a massive role in a woman's overall well-being. And it can impact nearly every part of her life, okay? I want to be able to let people in. Good. And I still want to be able to see the chat. Good. Can everybody see this visual? Yeah, I'm seeing head nods. Good. Okay. So estrogen specifically affects mood, skin elasticity, bone health. It impacts fat distribution. And so often women through perimenopause and menopause sometimes will put on our breast size will get larger, extra adipose tissue or fat tissue. And I go, it's kind of the body being smart because estrogen is dropping, right? And so it changes fat distribution. Obviously, it impacts our menstrual cycle, our muscle tone, our vaginal integrity. So for the women yesterday that were complaining of vaginal dryness, any vaginal pain, that is definitely, I'm thinking, estrogen. And while its fluctuations can lead to mood swings, hot flashes, and memory lapses, we can also look at scenarios where estrogen can be too high, right? Estrogen too high, at times we're thinking about things like breast-dependent cancers and heavy bleeding and really painful periods. Whereas progesterone is the calming hormone that influences sleep quality, regular menstrual cycles, and can sometimes cause bloating, breast tenderness when it's out of balance, okay? It can be the culprit behind mood swings and irritability and headaches. Think about PMS. And so as you're listening to me, just look in that section where it says, how am I being influenced by my hormones? And if I mention a sign or symptom and you go, ooh, that, just jot it down. And we're going, okay, so now as I'm unpacking this, are we thinking maybe a little bit more estrogen for you? Or maybe a little bit of progesterone, a little bit of both, okay? When I talk about testosterone, we often associate testosterone with men, but it's also crucial for women, okay? It affects our libido, our muscle mass, our energy levels, our confidence, our mood swings, okay? Imbalances in these hormones can lead to symptoms like anxiety, fatigue, brain fog, irritability, weight gain, even changes in sexual desire, and it's really all 3, okay? Sleep disturbances, joint pain, changes in our hair growth, acne, sometimes increased hair on our face, around the nipples or on the chest. Okay, I already mentioned sleep. But the thing that I want to really say is hormones impact almost every aspect of a woman's physical and emotional health. So I'm seeing my progesterone is a bit low. I had it tested. I'm seeing brain fog in the chat. And, it's really fascinating. I'll hear this often. A woman will say, I had my progesterone, my hormones tested, and I was told that my progesterone is low. And so they put me on progesterone. But here's the thing I want you to know. If you have had your hormones tested, my question is, if you're a cycling woman, when in your menstrual cycle were they tested? Okay. If you're beyond menopause, a little bit different. There's a little bit more wiggle room. But if you're still a menstruating woman, now if you have a Mirena IUD or you're on contraception that's throwing off your menstrual cycle, it's nuanced. But if you are a menstruating woman and you happen to have that blood drawn anywhere between day 1 and day 18 of your menstrual cycle, keep in mind day 1 is the first day you bleed. So if you had it drawn anywhere between 1 and 18 and they told you your progesterone was low, I go, well, yeah, it's supposed to be low during that time. I can't tell you how many women have come to me and they're on pharmaceutical high doses of progesterone because their progesterone was low during the phase in their menstrual cycle when it's supposed to be low, versus actually looking at the hormones, taking into consideration where in the month was the test done, which is one of the reasons why I'll just right now, as we start unpacking solutions on Saturday, the Dutch Plus test is really my favorite test to look at, to really look quantifiably at what is going on with the hormones, right? It's done through urine and saliva. If you're a menstruating woman, it's going to be done during day 18 to 22 of the cycle, so we know what to expect, right? If your progesterone is low at that time, all right, we've got something to work with, all right? Maybe you want to go on progesterone. Maybe you'd rather start out with some over-the-counter things like wild yam cream or Quicksilver Scientific Peace progesterone. Maybe you want to work with B6 and some diet modifications. There's a lot of possibilities, but I think that there's a lot of misinformation happening out there with providers that are ordering lab tests through blood. It's cheap, insurance covers it, but it's not as accurate as what we're really looking for, okay? So, and they didn't put me on progesterone. It was tested a few days before my cycle. Yeah, so a few days before your cycle, that's when it's starting to drop. So ideally, you want to test it between day 18 and 22. And I'm on supplements only and also diet modification. Awesome. So if that's what you were wanting, is to go, I want to get an idea of where it is. Do we really know where it is if it's a few days before your cycle? I don't know. And some of you might say, really what I want is diet modification supplements. Awesome. That's what you've got. Others say, I'm open to the idea of a pharmaceutical approach. And then some of them will come to me and say, I want to go on hormone replacement therapy, but my provider won't prescribe it. They just tell me, it's part of aging. And yet men can get testosterone with ease and insurance covers it. Don't get me started. Okay. So just curious, which of the symptoms jump out at you? Out of all the things that I listed, just put in the chat, anything jump out at you that you're like, oh, this is something I'm struggling with. And gosh, could it be my hormones? Mood swings. Yeah. Sleep and joint pain. Sleep, joint pain, and muscle loss. Yeah. Okay. So we're thinking a little bit of all of them, right? Joint pain after sitting for a long time, sleep disturbances, brain fog, memory issues. Yes. Okay, right. And so you can see how it could be estrogen, it could be progesterone, it could be testosterone, it could be a mixture of all of them. Hair and libido and mood. Hey, Stephanie, nice to see you, right? And then you think through, we touched yesterday a little bit on the 6 main areas that can keep a woman either in fine or out of fine. And we go, all right, when I'm experiencing these symptoms, what are they doing to my confidence? What are they doing to my ability to dream, to cast vision? What are they doing to how I set boundaries with community and how I engage in community, right? Fascinating. So it's just to kind of drop into self-awareness. Okay, now if we move on to thyroid, the thyroid is a small gland right here in our neck, okay, and it can have a huge impact on women's bodies when it's not functioning properly, okay? So hypothyroidism, which is an underactive thyroid, the most common, or Hashimoto's, the autoimmune version, can lead to fatigue, weight gain, dry skin, hair thinning, feeling cold all the time. It can also cause brain fog, depression, constipation, irregular or heavy menstrual cycles, infertility, miscarriages. Okay, so when I list all of those, just jot down on your workbook, does any of that jump out for you? Losing the outside of your eyebrows is another one. Okay, sometimes strange rashes, aches, and pains in the body, sometimes feet hurting can be associated with a sluggish thyroid. Whereas on the other hand, hyperthyroidism, which is an overactive thyroid, can result in unexplained weight loss, anxiety, insomnia, sometimes an increased heart rate. Sometimes if you look at someone's eyes, their eyes will look really big and there's a lot of white all the way around. Okay, that can be a sign of hyperthyroidism. Women may experience muscle weakness, shaky hands, or more frequent bowel movements. And both hypothyroidism or hyperthyroidism can affect fertility, can make periods irregular or stop bleeding altogether. Okay. Thyroid can have drastic impacts on mood and energy and metabolism. Melissa says, I wouldn't mind some unexpected weight loss, right? So the thyroid essentially helps regulate everything from how fast your heart beats to how you digest your food. So imbalances can disrupt many areas of your life. Now, things like Hashimoto's or Graves', those are also associated with the thyroid, but it's an autoimmune condition. Okay, so autoimmune, meaning the body is fighting against itself. And it just happens to be that in that scenario, it's attacking the thyroid. So which of these symptoms that I just listed jump out for any of you? Just put it in the chat. What did you notice? Brain fog, fatigue, depression. Yeah. Yep. Anything else? Almost everything in hypo. Okay. Yeah. Almost everything. Yeah. Okay. So feet hurting and metabolism, right? So here's the thing. Talking tests, and obviously on Saturday we're going to get into hormones and thyroid and adrenals and really give you some specific steps with nutrition and supplementation. But one of the things that is difficult with thyroid is, I can stop sharing because that way it just switches up the visual. With thyroid is, when I went to Yale, I was taught you order what's called a TSH with a reflex T4. Okay, so most of you are walking around and your provider has ordered what's called a thyroid stimulating hormone. It's a blood test. And it was likely between like 0.4 to 4.1, something like that. And if it's in that range, your provider's like, oh yeah, no, your thyroid's normal. In my opinion, if it's not between 1 and 2, it's outside of normal. So often what happens is many of you have the symptoms that are associated with a sluggish thyroid. You're saying, hey, waving my hand, asking for help, and your providers are doing their best, but they're just simply not taught a more appropriate range, and they're not taught a more thorough range of tests to order. Okay, so TSH alone is not enough. And so it might be, even if you have been told that your thyroid looks fine and is normal, if you're having a lot of those symptoms, it's kind of like time to, once again, don't ask people for directions to places they haven't been. Maybe ask someone else for directions. And we can look at some different tests to really get to the bottom of the thyroid. And you have prolactinoma. Okay, yeah, so with prolactin, that's going to obviously impact your libido. It's going to impact your menstrual cycle. It's also going to directly relate to your thyroid as well as your adrenals and your ovaries too. And your prolactin level will be off. But anyway. And then once again, we go, all right, when you think about all the trickle effect with those symptoms, randomly achy feet and miscarriages, brain fog, bone aches, irregular bowels, what are those symptoms doing to your energy level? What are those symptoms doing to your libido? What is the trickle effect into your confidence, right? And so we get to go, all right, maybe this is my thyroid and it's just gone done undiagnosed. Maybe that means you'd benefit from going on a pharmaceutical approach. Maybe it can simply be better testing and some nutrition and supplement changes, some fortification of your gut health. And then, wow, your thyroid's like, ooh, got the memo. Okay. So now going into adrenals. What are some signs and symptoms of adrenal hormones? Anybody want to just take some guesses, put it in the chat? When you think of adrenals, what are some symptoms you think of? I'll give you a hint. It relates to stress. So adrenals are going to be that thing that produces cortisol. Okay. So adrenal fatigue or exhaustion occurs when the adrenal glands responsible for producing stress hormones like cortisol become overworked due to chronic stress. You were going to say cortisol. Good job, Simona. But I'm also, there's a lot of cricket. So maybe for many of you, this is kind of new. But the idea of adrenal fatigue or adrenal exhaustion, really, it is a real thing, okay? And it can lead to a wide range of symptoms, such as constant fatigue, feeling wired but tired, struggling to get out of bed in the morning, sometimes brain fog, irritability, mood swings, intense sugar or salt cravings, weight gain, especially around the abdomen, particularly for women in their 40s and 50s. Sometimes trouble losing weight, sleep disturbances, and often that like 2 to 4 a.m. wake up where you wake up with your mind buzzing but your body exhausted. I generally think of adrenals. Not feeling rested even after a full night's sleep. Adrenal fatigue can also affect the immune system and leading to frequent colds and infections and disrupt hormone imbalances. Once again, irregular menstrual cycles if you're still bleeding. Low libido, hair loss. Hair is one of those things be like, it's okay, I'll take one for the team, right? So if you're noticing hair thinning, I'm definitely thinking adrenals. Low energy, feeling burnt out, difficulty managing stress. That is a hallmark sign of adrenal exhaustion. So I'm curious, of all of those, does anything jump out at you? What did you write down in your workbook? What feels like, oh gosh, I have that. And once again, maybe you've gone to your provider and your provider's ordered your cortisol through blood and they're like, blood is not the way that we're going to look at cortisol. All of them, but all sound similar. That's fascinating. Okay. Difficulty managing stress, 2 to 4 a.m. wake up. Oh, yes, similar to the others. There definitely is some crossover. Some of them are different, but yes. Sleep disturbances, low energy. Sleep disturbances I definitely think of with progesterone and adrenals. Low energy, fatigue, difficulty handling stress, hair thinning, difficult managing stress. So yes, you can see how everything really intertwines, okay? So if you have something going on with elevated stress, your body might be responding and now it's impacting your thyroid, which is obviously going to impact your sex hormones, your estrogen, your progesterone, and your testosterone. If, on the other hand, the ovaries are starting to slow down and you're not producing as much estrogen, well, now that puts extra work on the adrenals because during that perimenopause phase, it's the adrenals that often take over the brunt. But now the adrenals are too tired because we haven't been prioritizing ourselves and we're burning ourselves out. And now we're having the symptoms of adrenal fatigue. So yes, Melissa, you're right. There is a lot of crossover. Okay. And then obviously go back to how is that then impacting your confidence? And how is that then impacting your ability to dream and cast vision? Okay. And so I named this event Pause because we all need a pause. Whether you want to admit it or not, there is value in taking the pause. Okay. So when I mentioned the Dutch Plus test, that Dutch Plus test is going to give me the data for your sex hormones, your estrogen, your progesterone, your testosterone, what your body does with those hormones, how your body detoxifies. I'm able to see a 24-hour cortisol curve to see how does your body handle stress through the night when you first wake up, an hour later in the afternoon, and it tells me a lot about what's going on with your adrenals and your thyroid. And then the other thing with that test is there's something called your organic acids. So I can see B vitamins and inflammatory markers and gut markers. It's such a fun test. And it's amazing because it's just a kit that shows up at your front door, and we ship it all over the world, and then we get to review it. It's fun. And I think it's important at this point to say, let's get honest with ourselves, because a test on the shelf doesn't create the change. Results without a qualified provider who knows how to interpret the results is not going to get you the results that you're looking for, right? Spending all the money on these beautiful supplements that either sit on the shelf, or it's kind of like shooting darts in the dark and they're not really personalized for you. In my opinion, you're buying expensive urine. And so this is like here, in pause, you're taking in the information, you're in the place of self-reflection. We're getting honest with not just going belly up to fine, but also when there's information and suggestions in a plan, it also means that there is some action, right? That is expected and asked of you, so that we can take this and actually turn it into transformation. And a lot of this is not done for you. Right? And sometimes change is confronting, and yet it's what we all want. Okay? Sometimes this brings up feelings, right? Energy in motion, emotion. And I say feelings are meant to be felt. And they're not meant to be stuck in our body, right? I'm so tough. I'm not going to let water fall from my eyes. I'm not going to let myself fully feel. We go, gosh, I actually feel kind of frustrated. What if all of this time I've been struggling and I've gone to my provider and they're just ordering the wrong tests, or they're not taking me seriously? Or adrenal fatigue, I didn't even know it was a thing. And what if that's the thing that's going to make all the difference for me to turn the lights back? And sometimes that can stir up feelings of real frustration. Like, how did I miss this? I'm seeing in the chat, thanks Aaliyah for responding to Melissa. Naturopaths told me to take them based on test. Yeah. The Dutch Plus test, it depends on, I rarely see it covered through insurance. I think in all of my years, once I've seen someone have insurance cover it. But yeah, like Aaliyah said, if you have an HSA account, that can often cover things. And I love all these questions, and you're also welcome to send the questions to Randy and send the questions into Aaliyah. You've got a lot of support every step of the way. Okay, so right now I just want you to take a pause for just a moment, because like I said, the truth is we don't need more information. We're bombarded with information everywhere we look, online, in conversations, even our own thoughts. And the problem isn't necessarily lack of knowledge. In some scenarios it is, but it's often the lack of applying that knowledge for ourselves. And often we'll keep searching for answers or hoping the next bit of advice will change everything. But deep down, we know this isn't about more tips, tricks, or quick fixes. It's about allowing for the pause, getting honest with ourselves, and deciding that we're ready to apply what we've learned. And so today I really want to make sure we start deepening into the transformation of that knowledge into action, something real, something personal, and to really reflect and ask yourself, what do I need to do to shift from feeling fine to feeling vibrant, right? Because action, not just information, is what will get you there. And so I'm curious if you just put in the chat, any realizations of some action so far. I mean, we're only partway into day 2. We've still got a ways to go. But any realizations so far of like, ooh, I can see where there's some action that maybe I haven't taken. Maybe I haven't been really speaking up for myself. Maybe I got the wrong tests. Maybe I haven't actually taken my symptoms seriously and I keep sweeping them under the rug. Yeah. And so just go ahead so far. What's a highlight? What's an aha? What's an action? that you feel like you're ready to take. And Aaliyah, if you're seeing anybody responding in Facebook, you're welcome to put it down below in Zoom so that I can see it too. But yeah, I'm seeing people type. Yeah, around 650 US for the test in the US. Yeah, right around there. It's a little bit less if you go through me, but yeah. That I don't need to live like this. Yeah, I love it, Sheila. Absolutely. Tracy, I love all the asterisks. I'm curious what that means. Yes, and I love that someone has told you to take supplements and shift your diet based on the data. Yeah. And so, just to make sure that we're unpacking, I'm still waiting for others to put in the chat. What is the ha-ha? What is that piece where you're like, huh? What is that piece that you go, this was real for me. This is an action that maybe I could take. This is a piece of self-awareness that I didn't really realize. So Amber, Randy, Barbara, Deborah, Lisa, Malia, Mari, Maria, Melissa, Nicole, Patricia, Sheila, Simona, Stacy, Stephanie, Susan, Taylor, Tracy. I'm not going to pull everybody out, but what's the aha so far? I don't want this to just be you consuming information. I'm ready to check. Now they're coming so fast. I love it. Trying to find the words. Totally. I hear you, Deborah. That I can't wait to no longer have to deal with SC healthcare and get back to New York. I want to say that so much of it is available online. It doesn't matter where you are, what state you live in, even what country you live in. I mean, I serve women all over the world. I'm ready to check on my thyroid and get it under control. Yeah, the aha here. I'm realizing I think I may be ready for your help. Oh, I love that, Nicole. I feel guilty about the pause part, but it's been necessary. Yes. That I'm not alone and that I should get a second opinion. Thank you. All the knowledge you're providing us. I'm learning about the issues. Okay, yay, fun. So this second page in the workbook, let me pull it up on my computer and do a share screen. Just to really continue to unpack this interconnectedness. To go, all right, what's the broader effect here? Right? So understanding the connection between these 6 areas of health, hormones, energy, libido, confidence, community, vision, is crucial for every woman. Without hormonal balance, your energy dips, libido falters, and with that comes a decline in confidence, which then affects how you show up in the community and your ability to see a clear path forward, right? I feel like I've said it enough, but just to really hit home and allow yourself to take notes. And I want to give the analogy of a house. Okay, for that house to feel like a true home, it needs all its systems and rooms working together, creating harmony. And so I often think through the healthcare provider lens, but I thought maybe this will help everybody kind of reframe. So think of your hormones as the foundation. Just like a house, it needs strong foundation to stand tall. Okay, your hormones are the base that supports everything else. If the foundation is shaky or cracked, the whole house feels unstable. And when hormones are off, everything else feels off. Your energy, your mood, your overall sense of well-being. Energy. Think about electricity in a home. Energy is like the electricity that powers your house. Without it, the lights go out, nothing works as it should. If you're low on energy, it's like living in a house with constant power outages. You can't function fully. My Wi-Fi is out. I can't work, right? Your capacity to do anything is diminished. Whereas libido, I think of as the fire in the hearth. Okay, imagine it's winter time. Libido is the warmth in the house, the fire in the hearth that creates comfort, passion, and vibrancy, whether it's physical desire or a zest for life. When the fire dims, the house feels cold and lifeless, right? It's just like when I say it out loud, I can feel it in my body. It does not feel good. We need this fire to feel truly alive, energized, and engaged. Okay. Confidence. I think of the paint and the decor. Confidence is how you decorate your home. It's what people see when they walk in. It reflects who you are, what you value, and how you feel about yourself. And if confidence is lacking, it's like a house with bare walls and unfinished rooms, and you're not fully sharing your beauty and uniqueness to the world. So just allow yourself to take note and go, Great. Putting it into that context, do you see how maybe the paint and decor of the home is lacking? And that's impacting kind of the reflection of who you are, what you value, and how you feel about yourself. Whereas community, I think of the rooms in the house, right? Community is the heart of the home, represented by the rooms where people gather, the living room, the dining room. They're the spaces where you connect with others, share experiences, feel supported, right? Are the rooms in your home cluttered, not cared for? Is there a lack of connection? Does your home feel empty and lonely? Does it look great on the outside? The lawn's taken care of. But what am I doing to really nourish my sense of community within my home? And then vision, the blueprint for future renovations. Okay? Vision is the blueprint for your house, as well as the plans for future renovations. It's what keeps you dreaming about what's possible and how you want your life to expand. Maybe you go house hunting. Without a clear vision, it's like living in a house that never gets finished. There's no direction. There's no goal. There's no sense of purpose to guide you forward. And once again, without the foundation, the hormones, then you have no vision. You can't remodel your kitchen if the foundation is crumbling, right? So now if you picture your home, if just one of those areas is neglected, the whole house starts to feel off. Maybe the lights flicker because the electricity or your energy is unreliable. Or the foundation, your hormone, has cracks that make everything else shaky. Or maybe the fire, your libido, or your central air system is barely burning, making the house feel cold and frigid and unwelcoming. Or you're living in a space that's not decorated. There's no confidence. It's a mess. And you don't feel at home in your own skin. But when each part of that home is working together, you can see how we get to dismantle fine, right? We get to really look at ourselves and go, I'm taking a pause, right? This event is called pause. Inhale. Exhale. Learn. Be in self-reflection. Pause. Where can I put this into action, right? So tomorrow and Saturday, we're going to continue to just unpack this, but I'm curious if anybody would put in the chat, what really jumps out at you? When I shared that analogy, did it feel like, oh, wow, I can really get this analogy? Sometimes, I'm trying to find new ways for it to land. But where is there some shift or something where you go, wow, I can really see how this area of my body, when it's off, is impacting the others? And maybe we all want some adjustment in our home. So I'd love to see in the chat, what adjustment, what aha are you seeing? Or you can just put aha if that's easier. Maybe you guys are all taking notes. Just put aha in the chat. AHA. 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 I have an aha. Aha. Good. Thank you, Randy. Aha. Thank you, Deborah. Great analogy. Aha. Great. I'm glad you like it, Stephanie. Taylor, thank you. Tracy, thank you. I need a refined blueprint. Ooh, yeah. I love it. Aha. So you're here because you've been running in the craziness and relentlessness of life, right? All of us are. We're juggling work and motherhood and entrepreneurship for many of us and everything in between. But deep down, we all know there's a sense, or there's a version of us or for you that's waiting to emerge, right? A new version that's filled with power and vitality. And when you pause and you create space for something more than just the day-to-day grind, this moment right now is for the woman who desires more, the woman who craves a spectacular, vibrant existence, more energy, better sleep, answers to hormonal challenges, an ignited libido, not just from a sexual standpoint, but for your life. Deep connection with yourself and community, and confidence that's palpable. You want a clear, sky-high vision for your future. And maybe you're navigating perimenopause or menopause and everything feels a little bit like a confusing blur. Maybe you've tried to keep up the highlight reel, looking good on camera, right? Doing the shopping, growing the business, but underneath there's something missing. Confidence is slipping. You've noticed your body changing, your relationships feeling strained, your hair thinning, or you're just not standing fully in your power. And you're busy baking the cake, but forgetting to finesse the cake with the beautiful frosting. Okay. Sleepless nights, irritability, we've unpacked that plenty. And so what's going on underneath the surface? Often what I hear is underneath that is loneliness, real concerns about health, anxiety, sleep issues, weight gain, depression, overworking, sometimes over exercising to compensate, feeling confused, lack of motivation to move because maybe your nervous system is being triggered. And many of you are doing it alone, carrying that weight, the exhaustion, the frustration all by yourself. But what I know is when game-changing women like you finally prioritize your well-being, everything shifts. When you stop settling for mediocre healthcare, just another prescription, sick care, being fine, and you actually start investing in your own personalized foundational health, everything changes. And you feel hot and happy and healthy. And it's not just about changing your body, right? Plenty of women that I've worked with will say they've lost 80 pounds, 100 pounds more, but it's ultimately not about the weight or the scale. It's about how they feel and their cellular vitality, knowing that they're investing in their longevity of life. Right? So now I once again invite you to make that space, right? To choose more, to let go of fine. And even if you feel like you've tried everything, you've seen the naturopaths, the acupuncturist, you've had all the tests done, put in the chat, done feeling stuck. Done feeling stuck. Deborah, I see a tornado hit my house 9 years ago and it's finally getting rebuilt this year. Yeah, done feeling stuck. Yes, Sheila. You have the vision, you just don't have the energy to make it happen. Right. Without the energy, without electricity in the home. Yeah. Done feeling stuck. Yes, Lisa. Done feeling stuck. And so what I know is that the solution is always within reach, but taking that first step, the one that challenges our comfort zone, is generally the hardest and the most transformative. Okay. So I'm really looking forward to, over the next couple of days, really getting into what we consume is what we become and personalized plans to really unpack all of this. But also want to honor that we need to create some clear vision. And to call a spade, there are a lot of options out in the world, and we all need an oil change, no matter to what degree our vibrancy is waning. And some of you like to have more time to be able to make your decision. So I love doing these workshops. I also want to make sure to let you know up front early on something that I'm offering, and then to continue to move forward. So over these next couple of days, we're going to continue to unravel this. And my intention is for everyone to really feel like they have a personalized plan. And over these last couple of days, we've been diving deep into what it really looks like to take your hormone optimization seriously, to regain your energy, your confidence, your vitality, right? And we've unpacked the role of community, of vision, and acknowledge that life can feel overwhelming. It's easy to put ourselves on the back burner, but today we all get to say no, right? I want to be more effective. I want to simplify my life and get back to a place where I feel energized and alive and deeply connected to my body and my purpose and have real answers, right? And how many times have we told ourselves, I'll get to it later? Maybe you're too tired. Maybe you're tired of feeling like you're just getting by, pushing through the fatigue, the irritability, the lack of confidence, or just those subtle changes in your body, going, I'll get to it one day. My provider said it's just part of aging. Oh gosh, maybe I am on some medications and I really don't want to be on these. And we're all no stranger to stress. And some of you might even be feeling like you're losing touch with the things that used to make you feel alive, the things that used to light you up. And so I just want to say out loud, you're not alone. There's a lot of women that are silently struggling, feeling disconnected from their health, their vibrancy, their relationships, and worse off, they've been told by their providers that everything looks normal. Okay? And they're simply handed another Band-Aid fix or prescription that could actually, in some scenarios, be the cause of some of the challenge. I'm getting an alert. I want to just see what it is. I don't know what it is. Okay. And I just want to say out loud, it's not your fault. Okay. The truth is most healthcare systems aren't set up to help us thrive. They're set up to keep us fine. And frankly, fine isn't enough. I love that smile. Thank you. We deserve to feel spectacular. Okay. Put in the chat, no more quick fixes. No more quick fixes. No more quick fixes. Yeah, no more quick fixes, right? And that's why I created the new program. It's called the Women's Vibrancy Accelerator Trifecta. For the last 6 years, I've run a year-long program called the Women's Vibrancy Code. And the trifecta is me responding to what women have been asking for, as well as what lights me up. I took my pause. And so this is a 90-day journey designed specifically for women like you. Women who are ready to stop living in the shadows of their potential and actually step into a life that feels vibrant and alive again. So we get to start with functional medicine tests. Of course, it includes the Dutch Plus test. Of course, it includes a comprehensive thyroid panel to really get to the root of our hormonal balance. We're going to look at adrenals and inflammatory markers and thyroid and detoxification pathways. Then you'll have 3 personalized one-on-one calls where we dig deep into your health and create a plan that's just for you. Okay, you'll have access to twice-a-month Q&A calls to get real-time answers to your questions on top of the one-on-one calls, as well as core education modules that you can consume on your own schedule. And every step of the way, you'll have a dedicated program coordinator and community manager to support you along your journey. This is not a cookie-cutter approach. It's highly personalized experience where we'll get to the root cause of what's been holding you back. And once again, for women, no matter where you are in the world, okay? Now, I know some of you might be thinking, but I don't have time. Here's the thing. This program is designed to make your life simpler. Okay, this is not about more complications. We have enough of that in the world. It's about giving you the energy and clarity to show up in every area of your life with ease. And I say, well, what's the alternative? Right? We can continue to push through the exhaustion, the irritability, which we know is impacting intimate relationships, the lack of confidence, the brain fog, the anxiety, all the things you guys have put in the chat that's impacting our true legacy. And it's like we're not setting aside time for ourselves and we're not setting the foundation now. And if we don't do it now, it will demand our attention later. Okay? Maybe you're worried, what's the investment? And I get it, money can feel tight. But when it comes to our health, there's no better return on investment. This isn't a spa day or a temporary fix or a designer bag. This is a deep, transformative journey that will give you back your energy, your health, your vibrancy for years to come. And then you can continue to invest in the external things and the trips and all the fun things. And or you can make a decision today to invest in you. Okay, perhaps you're wondering, how do I know this will work? Right? With so many experts out there, it's hard to know who to trust. It's one of the reasons why I wanted to bring this up early on in the workshop. I've been listening to women like you for more than 2 decades. And I've worked alongside the top experts in functional medicine. And this program combines everything I've learned everything you've asked for into one comprehensive step-by-step solution that's streamlined, because we all live busy lives. Okay, for 6 years, it was a year-long program with group calls, and I'm hearing the call that women say, I am overwhelmed and I need an oil change. And to those of you that are wondering, am I ready for the change? I know that the change can be scary, even if we know we're asking for it. Sometimes we worry, what if I change and my relationship can't handle it? What if my marriage shifts? But then I say, ask yourself, what happens if you stay where you are? When you transform, when you step into your true vibrancy, your relationship, your career, your entire life has the opportunity to rise to a new level. And we all deserve the transformation, and those that love us meet us there. So I want to put the link to apply for a call in the chat. For those of you that are watching the recording, or if you're in Facebook, you are welcome to reach out to Randy, Concierge Support. You can email admin@marayabrown.com, or once again, you can always text 541-904-4441 and just say, can I have the link to apply for a call? So just to really say, imagine how different your life could look in just a few months. Imagine waking up in the morning feeling refreshed, energized, and ready to take on the day. Imagine having balanced hormones, an awakened libido, and feeling confident in your skin again. Imagine what that will do for your relationships, your career, your sense of purpose. Okay, it's not just about your health, it's about your entire life, but the foundation starts here. And when your energy is restored, when you're no longer battling the hormonal imbalances, the fatigue, the wondering, could there be a better answer out there? The one day when I move, the one day when I get the better answers, the one day when the thing works, you'll be able to show up fully for your family, your work, your community, and you'll have clarity and confidence and the ability to create that life that we're all dreaming of, because your vision turns on, right? And it all starts with the first step. And like I said earlier, the first step is sometimes the hardest, but we've got you. And we want your dreaming muscle to turn back on, right? I often say we get to shoot for the moon and we'll land on the stars. If anybody's read 10x is easier than 2x, so good. With optimized energy, hormones, and libido, the stars are in our cards. Okay, so the Women's Vibrancy Accelerator Trifecta is valued at $9,500. I generally charge $5,500, but for those of you today that are in pause, I'm offering it at $3,300 until September 28th, so you have time. For those of you that take time to make a decision, you want to vet me, you want to hear from the women that are going to share their testimonials, you want to really get to know, you've got time, and just know that it's $3,300 until September 28th. And for the first 20 women, you'll get all 3 of your one-on-one calls directly with me. Okay. I have a team of very qualified master coaches that all also have their masters and tremendous resumes. But for the first 20 women, you get all 3 of those calls directly with me. And yes, you heard it correctly, a $9,500 value at $3,300. So it's your opportunity to invest in yourself, to say yes to your health, your energy, your vibrancy, and not wait till tomorrow or next week or next quarter until it's potentially too late, right? We all deserve the transformation. So reach out, communicate with Randy, ask your questions, stay in the room. We have so much more we're going to unpack over these next couple days. I love this one, to get into this. What we consume and detoxify is what we become. It's going to be so juicy. Email your questions. Yeah, thank you, Randy. So Randy put in the chat, info@marayabrown.com, or text 541-904-4441. You can also just simply respond to my emails that I'm sending. Ask your questions, okay? Me and the team are in there. We're really hoping that everybody's going to have a personalized approach. I forgot to mention the homework yesterday. So for those of you that like to do the homework, yesterday's homework question in the end, you'll find on page 4 of the workbook is, what is your vitality score as of today? I would love it if you would send that to Randy. Let her know, because she keeps notes, and that way I can look through, especially for those of you that apply for a call with me. I'll look through all of that. And then for today's homework, what is one area you can really see that is keeping you in fine? And it's time to change. Please allow yourself to make that announcement. Even simply by letting Randy know, it's you standing for your worthiness. It's you making a proclamation that this is not okay with me. I can see how I've been keeping myself in fine, and I'm making the proclamation that I'm ready for change. Okay? What an incredible day, right? I feel like it went by so fast. We dove deep into hormones and thyroid and adrenal health and covered so many ways they shape our energy and our moon and our vitality. I love that many of you were saying, wow, we're seeing the interconnectedness with all of these. Hopefully you've taken some notes. You have some real clarity there. We dug into estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, the analogy of the house to further unpack those 6 areas that really keep us in fine. And we want to abolish fine. We're not here for quick fixes. We're here to apply this knowledge to reclaim the fire within ourselves and to step out of fine and step into vibrant. That magnetic woman that walks in a room that everybody feels. So tomorrow we're going to continue to unpack. We're going to go deeper into personalized plans, really getting clear with what we consume and how we absorb and what we're detoxifying, assimilate. And I have another fun analogy I'm hoping you guys are going to enjoy. I'm like getting creative here, getting outside of my healthcare box, because it's where I've been for 24 years, but I totally acknowledge it's not everyone's. And I just want to say I'm so grateful that you've taken this journey with me so far. I don't take it lightly. I know that we all have a lot of demands on our time. And the fact that we're having this energetic exchange, it's here for a reason. And I've come into your life for a reason, and you've come into my life for a reason. So I honor you for that. And I honor all of us for dedicating this time. The universe knows one word, and that's yes. And so being present and committing to ourselves, we're announcing to the universe that we're committing to our vibrancy, and the universe says yes. And I just love, even by the end of these workshops, the things that happen and what unfolds. Okay. So once again, I'll put the link one more time in the chat. Melissa, thank you again. You're welcome. Okay. One word. Everybody just put one word in the chat. What feels the most potent from today? One word, grateful. Grateful for you. Grateful for you, Deborah. You're welcome. Yeah, just one word. What's one word? One word. Taylor and Tracy and Susan and Stephanie and Sheila and Patricia and Nicole and Melissa and Malia and Lisa. I'm not going to say everyone's name, just one word. Around our dinner table, every meal, we all go around the table and we just say one word. One word that kind of represents the day. Change. Don't settle. Sometimes we'll say it's all hyphenated. So it'll really mean like a full sentence, but it's all hyphenated. Change. Yeah, a lot of people are saying change. Yeah, that you're ready for change. I love it. Change can be confronting, and it's potent, and it's powerful. And one of my favorite quotes is, just outside our comfort zone. Ooh, it gives me chills. Take a breath for a second. Really receive this. Open up. Just outside our comfort zone and in the magic of the right community is where change happens, is where magic happens. Okay? So I honor you for being in the right place at the right time with the right community and being willing to be just outside your comfort zone. When you say change, it tells me you're ready to be just outside your comfort zone and in the company of the right community that's there to cheer you on and believe in you and also want change. And we get to create magic. So thrilled to open up the doors to the Women's Vibrancy Accelerator Trifecta. And with that, ta-ta for now.